Hey y'all, welcome back to Avery's Apron. My name is Avery and day 8 of my Countdown to Christmas series is this beautiful eggnog pound cake. Yes, you heard me right, eggnog pound cake. It is so luxurious and just wonderful, okay? And to top it all off, we made a little white chocolate glaze to go on it, okay? So it is just everything, okay? Here are the ingredients that you will need for today's recipe. And just like with all of my other recipes here on YouTube, you can find all of my exact measurements down in the description box of this video, okay? So we're gonna get right into combining our ingredients together. This cake is actually quite simple to make, okay? We are starting off by creaming our butter, sugar, and eggnog together. So this cake does require 4 sticks of butter, and it does require 8 eggs, and it does require 4 cups of sugar, but it's all right, okay? It's the holidays. This is a treat. It's definitely not a cake that you make every day, all right? And then also, you're not sitting down to eat the whole cake, right? You're just gonna eat like a slice or two here and there. So don't feel bad about all the butter and sugar, okay? It's totally fine. It's the holidays. We'll be fine, all right? Alright, this mixture is actually going to cream together for about 5 minutes, just until it is light and fluffy and airy, okay? While this is mixing, I want to let you know about this eggnog situation I've got going on, okay? First of all, I'm using really good eggnog. This is the Homestead Creamery eggnog. It is super rich and flavorful, and it is absolutely my favorite eggnog ever, okay? So if you can find this at your local grocery store, I really suggest you use it. It is a little bit pricier than other eggnogs, but it's totally worth it, okay? The second thing I wanted to mention about it is that it is not all eggnog. So what I did was I poured about 3/4 cups of eggnog into my measuring cup, and then I added in 1/4 cup of sour cream, and I whisked that together, and I allowed it to come to room temperature, and then I added it to this, okay? So I should have put that on camera, but I didn't. But I'm letting you know that that is what I did, okay? So you can do that too. Or you can just use a whole cup of eggnog. It's totally up to you. But I just added the sour cream to give it a little more richness, just to like increase the fat content for the cake, okay? So now I'm beating in the eggs 2 at a time. Like I said, this recipe asks for 8 eggs. So I'm beating them in 2 at a time. And with the addition of the last 2 eggs, I'm going to also add in my vanilla. And now that my eggs are all beaten in, I'm going to go ahead and start adding in my flour as well, okay? So I'm adding in the flour 1 cup at a time. This cake asks for 4 cups of flour, so I'm adding in a cup and mixing it just until combined, and then I'm stopping the mixer and adding in the next cup, and so on and so forth until I've added in all the flour, okay? Do not overmix this cake, okay? Pound cakes are already quite heavy and they already have a lot of ingredients in them. Overmixing it will just make it super dense and hard, and it just won't be good, okay? So mix just until combined, all right? And then at the end, I'm going to take my spatula and scrape down the sides and like fold in all that excess flour, okay? We really just don't want to overbeat this because we want a nice, soft, tender pound cake. there you have it, you guys. This is like the most luxurious cake batter. I honestly just want to dip my finger in it and lick it, but I refrained. I did not eat the raw cake batter, okay? But anyways, as I said before, I'm just taking my spatula, I'm scraping down the paddle attachment, and I'm gonna go ahead and scrape down the sides as well and just fold everything in together, making sure that there's no leftover flour in the bottom of the bowl or anything like that. And then we are gonna go ahead and transfer this to our cake pan so that it can bake. And so now here I've got this like angel food type cake pan, and I've sprayed it down with some Baker's Joy cooking spray. You can totally grease your pan the old-fashioned way by like buttering it up and dusting it with flour, but why do all of that when they sell things like Baker's Joy, okay? So anyways, I've sprayed it generously just to ensure that my cake slips right out when I'm ready to take it out of the pan. And now I am just evenly distributing the cake batter, okay? So just all around the pan, I'm pouring it, and I'm gonna pop this in a 325-degree oven to bake for about an hour and 30 minutes. And here is our cake. After that hour and 30 minutes, I stuck a long toothpick into it just to test to make sure that it was baked all the way through. And as you can see here in just a second, the toothpick came out clean, so our cake is good, okay? I allowed it to rest in the pan for about 10 minutes or so, and then I flipped it out of the pan and put it on a wire rack to cool for a few hours. And this is the cake after it cooled, okay? So while it was cooling, I actually went ahead and mixed up the white chocolate glaze, which is what I'm about to show you here, okay? So I'm going in with 1 can of sweetened condensed milk. I'm also going to go in with a cup of half and half. You could also use heavy cream if you have that. I actually would recommend using heavy cream instead of half and half just because it's a little bit richer. And then I also used 1 whole bag of white chocolate chips. And after I added all of my ingredients into the pot, I just went ahead and mixed this until the white chocolate chips were completely melted, okay? I forgot to mention that my heat is on medium for this, okay? You don't want it up too high because you don't want to burn the sweet condensed milk, and you don't want to scorch the cream, okay? And you also don't want to burn the chocolate either. So medium heat is perfect for this, and I'm just gonna whisk it until everything is melted and combined nicely, okay? Once it is all melted down and warmed through, I'm gonna turn the heat off, pour in a splash of vanilla and a couple dashes of cinnamon, and then we are gonna move on to the next step. Okay, so here in this little measuring cup, I've got about 1.5 cups of powdered sugar. And I'm going to whisk in my white chocolate mixture, okay? Now, at this point, it totally depends on how thick or thin you want your glaze, okay? If you prefer a thinner glaze, then you can just keep adding the white chocolate mixture to the powdered sugar until it is your desired thinness, or you could add less of the white chocolate mixture to make it a little more thick, okay? I like it just somewhere right in the middle, okay? So, yeah, as you can see, I tried to whisk it with the whisk and that wasn't working, so I swapped to a fork, and that wasn't working. There was still a lot of clumps going on, so I went ahead and put it in a bigger bowl and got my hand mixer out and kind of beat it together to get rid of all of those extra clumps I had. Alrighty, so now it's time to glaze it, okay? So, I don't know about you guys, but I think that those crispy bits on the top of the cake are the best part, okay? And I don't want to make those soggy with my glaze, so I flipped the cake over, and now I'm just going to start pouring this glaze all over the cake. Yum! It's so good, you guys. This frosting turned out amazing. It was honestly a last-minute decision, but it paired really well with the cake, and it was just really good. So, yeah, I'm just drizzling this over the top, and then we're going to cut into it, okay? After I cut into it, I'm going to have my dad, who is like anti-eggnog, give this a try for you guys, okay? To let you know that it really is a good cake. He tried to play me initially, but he realized it was actually quite delicious, and he ended up really enjoying it. So yes, guys, that is the end of this recipe today. I hope you've enjoyed it. This video was a little bit longer, but I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow in my next one. Bye! Okay, I've got a non-eggnog drinker here who's gonna try it for you guys. What? What's that face?
I'm trying to see if I taste it.
Got your face. It just tastes like a really good pound cake. Lord.
Yeah, it's good.
See, you want to not like it, but you can't help yourself.
Yeah, I can't taste it.
See, it's just good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.